Alright, so I mean, it's not really showing you anything that you haven't seen already. Although you can see the pen and the felt, and then the pencil on the left there. So the Art Deco aesthetic, like the lines and the curves and all that. It's like actually Art Deco. There's the Art Deco from the 20s, and then I think there's an Art Deco revival later on in like the 50s and 60s. So it could be one of the two. I think based on what we see here, I think it's more the 50s sort of technology. Oh, interesting. The secretary's head is a different shape. Look at the skulls. The skulls have more shape to them in the concept art, but in the game they're just more simple polygons. I guess there's polygon count issues with the game. Remember that this game was made like, I don't know, 16 or 17 or 18 years ago, a long time ago, and so the polygon counts were pretty low back then. So it's interesting to see how they actually intended for the heads to be more round in the concept art. This is the lobby, so there weren't any characters in the lobby. Curiously, they seem to have taken out most of the characters that would not have had any purpose. I mean, there are a few minors, but you couldn't, like in the coral reef and on the island on the edge of the world, there were a few minors underwater. But for the most part, like there's no extra people, there's no bystanders. The only people in the game are the people that you need to interact with for the game's purposes. So that's interesting. Like here, you see a guy sitting on the desk at the lobby, but he's not in the game. Oh, interesting. That's a rooftop on the right there. But it wasn't quite like that in the game, was it? The pigeons were significantly more intimidating in that concept art. Look at them. They're all like surrounding you and everything. That's kind of funny. So this kind of cross between Art Deco and South American, Native American kind of ruins. I think it's Aztec. Is it Aztec or Incan? Alright, so the artwork, I mean, the game is pretty much what we see. We don't see the right hand side. Oh, the one with the stars. The stars are the unused artwork. So if there's a star on them, it means it's not used in the game. I see. So the stuff that was used in the game looks pretty much exactly like how they ended up in the game. It's a giraffe. Oh, we don't have a giraffe in the game. That sucks. Why was that cut out? We need a giraffe. So the parade in the background, we never actually got to play the parade. In fact, oh, there's the moral suite. There's like apartments that we never got to explore. It was cut out of the game. Is that Glottis? Glottis was is that a cow? Glottis. I don't know about that. I think Glottis looks much more interesting in the game. He looks like a giant lizard thing in the game. That looks like more like a cow or something. Oh, Glottis is meant to be like is like a rhino? Is he a rhino? I don't know what Glottis is meant to be. Is he a hippo? I don't know what Glottis is meant to be. I think he turned out better in the game than he did in the concept art, which is amazing. Cars, alright, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Eva the Revolutionary, alright. Yeah, I mean, so you can see how the game pretty much ended up pretty much like the concept art, maybe a little less than the concept art. Oh, Glottis has teeth in the concept art. Look at that on the right hand side. Oh, the tree was more complicated. They simplified the tree because imagine if you have to solve a puzzle on that tree, you can't see what's going on. So they simplified the tree for the game for puzzle purposes. There's the gate or variations of the gate, and the fire beavers. What does that even mean? Like, why were the beavers on fire? Is that like a myth that I don't know about? All right, so this is the club. The tower. Huh, the tower used to be a lot more interesting, it seems like. Or is it a different tower? I think it's a different tower. Oh, the Calavera, the club is it's inspired by Gaudi. I didn't notice it in the game. I guess they didn't have enough polygons to do it properly in the game. Well, look at that. It's inspired by Gaudi. Cool. The thing with the game is that because, like, look at that picture on the left hand side. Like, it's a plan of Manny's office, but they cut the roof off and they look at it from above. And so when you draw architecture, you can do that, and you can just show like interior space in a really useful way like that. But the problem is when you make the game, you usually don't cut through rooms when you go into a game, and so then when you actually have to put cameras into the space without cutting off the roof, you end up with these really tight spaces because you can't fit the camera in. The only way you can see the space like that image on the left there, is if you cut the roof off. So if you don't do that, then you end up trying to fit the camera into these tight corners and you never get the right camera angles. So if you remember in Manny's office, back in, what's that place? Back in his club, like there were like 3 different camera angles and they were all really tight and you couldn't really see anything. And that's the issue. Maybe they could have just made it so that you cut the roof off. Maybe that's the answer, or maybe not. Who knows? Glottis is different again. Like, he looks different in every single painting, or every single drawing. So there's the casino. That's pretty much turned out exactly like that. That giant ship was not in the game, I don't think. Or maybe it left in the cutscene and we never got to go up next to it. We also never got this angle, there's this wide angle panoramic shot of the town. Would have been nice to have, but again, you can't fit that on the screen, right? See, this is the thing about concept art, is that you can make these things that look really good in the artwork, but like you can't fit this on the screen. You can't, like, you see how wide this drawing is. You just can't fit it on the computer screen in the game. And so this is the danger of concept art, is that sometimes you really just can't put it in the game. Just as, this on the left, you can't put that in the game because you need to put the roof on. And so that's the risk of making good concept art, because in the game sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes it only happens in a drawing. So there's the bee workers, Rubicon. Oh, map! You have a map! You have maps! I would have loved to have a map in the game. Although you can see how it actually, for Tim Boy. Is that his nickname, Tim Boy? Is that Tim Schafer's nickname? Yeah, it would have been nice to have a map. Because I didn't even know there was a lighthouse in the game until I looked at the walkthrough. Although you can see how the town kind of changed. The town, there's like, look at that, there's like 4 different iterations of the town. And some of this is pretty fantastic, but maybe not so good in terms of gameplay because you can't tell where you're going. Like if there's too many walkways and too many kind of curves and tight spaces and walls, then you can't tell where you are in the game and where you're trying to go. So yeah, look at this. This is all just different iterations of the design, of the planning of the town. And a lot of it is not in the game the way it's shown here. The bees. Alright, well the bees turned out exactly like that. Alright, there's the lighthouse. We never really saw the light. This. Did we ever see this cutscene? I don't think we did. Or if I did, then I missed it. I don't remember it. Alright, giant airship. And there's the blue casket. It's a little crazier in the artwork than it is in the game. Too much clutter, I guess. Look at that interior on the right there. There's way too much clutter. So the game simplified that a little bit. Oh, they smoke. Is that a... Well, that's a pipe of some sort. But they took the smoking out of the game. I wonder if they would have had rating issues, like age rating issues, if they left the smoking in the game. This thing, like the police station, I think... Okay, it's Chief Bogan's office. Alright, this is supposed to be the police station. But in the game, like, there was just kind of missing bits. Like, you couldn't get to his actual office, so it was like a... There was a morgue, and then there was a prison cell, and then there's no actual police station. So that was slightly strange. Oh, there's a staircase! There's a staircase on the... Oh, I see! Oh, there's a front desk, office space, stairs up and down. Okay, it's supposed to be much bigger than it, but... In the actual game, there was no staircase, and there was no front desk. There was only the prison cell, which is really weird. But I guess they just cut out all that interior because it doesn't actually add anything to the game. But I mean, that makes more sense. It makes more sense, but I guess it's just kind of a lot of stuff that you don't need in the game, maybe. Chief Bogan's office. Yeah, so they used to be like an office, Chief Bogan's office, but they took that out. Who are these guys? There's the morgue. So that on the right there is not quite as dramatic as what we end up with in the game. What is... Oh, this is the shuttle. This is the security where... What's her name was? I can't remember anybody's names from the game. Metal detector. No, wait, I got it. They're trying to figure out how to do the metal detector. Alright, and then they chuck it into the cat. Alright, and that's the tattoo guy. The tattoo guy and the fridge and the poison. Alright, that's cool. So this is later on, I guess, in the developments where they've more or less finalized the towns. There's the cat racing track. Although we never see most of it because like you just kind of you don't actually go into the track and look around, which again is a bit of a shame. But you know it would have distracted from the story, I guess, if you just kind of spent 10 minutes walking around the cat racing track. The High Rollers Lounge. It was really empty in the game. Giant cat statue. And Glottis up there being drunk. Oh, look at that! The High Rollers Lounge is like a tower in the water. Well, we never saw that. The Cast Demon. The casks. Well, we never got this angle. We did have the forklift. Not quite like that. Interesting. And the ship. So again, the cross between the pyramids and the ship. This is amazing. Like somehow the Art Deco and the Native American architecture kind of just meshes in quite well. the back half of the ship. What is this? The pearl? Oh, there was a light above the pearl, which I never understood what that light was. Like we kind of just skirted around the crater and then kind of grabbed onto the octopus. But there was this light above the submarine. I don't know what this was. There's a submarine. Underwater corals and things. That's cool. What is that? Oh, is that like an earlier iteration of the island? It is. That's like an earlier version of the island on the edge of the world. So it used to be much more gothic. But, yeah, wow, it used to be a lot more gothic. Didn't really turn out like that in the game, though, did it? Somewhat different. Alright, interiors. Which didn't quite turn out the way... Oh, some of this stuff is not used. Alright, I see. Manny... Oh, wait, look at that, look at that! On the right. Manny is holding a lighter up to the sprinkler system. I think that was part of the puzzle. To discover the secret room. So you remember I said the puzzle was a bit strange, the secret room and the trapdoor and all that. Like the secret room behind the lock. That's interesting. So they changed the puzzle along the way. It was a bit odd. I think they might have rushed that one a little bit. We got the drill thing or the chisel. Oh, this is cool. This is the end where you leave on your train. So it looks like that. See, again, like these wide-angle shots from a distance where you just don't have it in the game. Like you have this kind of concept art that looks great, but you never see it from this angle in the game. Whereas, you know, this thing in the game, it looked a bit strange. Like, I couldn't really understand the shape of it or the function of it. But now that I see this angle, it makes sense. It's like a mountain, right? It's like a mountain that sticks out, or like a giant cliff that sticks out, and there's like a cable car going up, and there's massive staircases. So it's like a massive temple complex hanging on the edge of the world or something. So now that I see the concept art, it makes sense and it looks cool. But in the game, I was just kind of looking at it, it's like, why are there these, what is this shape and these staircases? I don't understand what is this. So this, again, this danger of drawing amazing concept art that doesn't really work in the game, or that you can't show in the game. Like, look at this, like, look at these. You can see like the train track going up in the portal and the cable cars and everything. So that way, if you come on a train, right, then you just go straight to the portal. If you have coming on foot, then you go up the cable car or something. I understand the concept of it. And then there's a hell pit. I understand the concept of it, and the concept of it is really interesting. But again, we never really saw this in the game. We saw like a different angle of it, and not quite as wide angle, and so you couldn't understand it. Interesting. And the train, amazing. There's birds on the train. What an amazing train. That's also amazing, but in a completely different way. The train turns into a dragon. And the station. So they designed the whole station, and in the game the station was quite elaborate, but there wasn't really anything to do there. Alright, and then that's like the mechanics and the rocket gondola, which is like the strangest thing. Is that Glottis? Ooh, what happened there? 77 is blank. 78, alright, so all this is pretty much exactly how it is in the game. Oh, that bridge is different. What happened there? There's no bridge in the game, I don't think. Oh, we saw the bridge we didn't really see. It was from a different angle. Again, the cutaway walls and the wide angle wasn't quite like that in the game. So that was more like this in the game. So you only see like the end of the bridge, so you don't really get the dramatic, you know, suspension bridge across the sewers. Oh, look at that! Look at that cityscape on the left-hand side. It's amazing. Futurism. Atomic Casino. Wow. Next meltdown 15 minutes. That's amazing. That's not in the game though. It's a shame. Would have been great to put that in the game. And then the casino. I mean, it's pretty much how it is in the game, just that there's no people. I guess there's no people in the concept art neither. That's crazy. The crazy bird. What is that? Oh, the penthouse. Again, not in the game. Fascinating penthouse. The car, the gun, poisons. The greenhouse. Wow, it used to be deadlier. Look at that on the right hand side. Oh, storyboarding. Wow, that's a lot of storyboarding. They put in a lot of work, that's for sure. Yep, storyboarding. Storyboarding. Did they storyboard the whole game? They did, didn't they? Well, storyboarding, 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 more storyboarding. Why did you cut me, Lizelle? Please don't cut me, Lizelle. I really don't think you have to cut me. Are they talking about cut content? Alright. Well, there you go. There's the concept art. Interesting that they mostly managed to build what they drew. I mean, there's some stuff there that shows us that they had other plans which didn't make it into the game. Well, I guess that's always the case with video games. You never get enough time or money to build the game that you want. I guess I should end it here. I'll play the developer's commentary on my own time. And what a great adventure. It's a really good, great story, great music, great characters. It's a really good game. It's an adventure game, so you know it needs maps and highlighting interactables. But given that it is an adventure game, it's a great game. All right, I'm going to end it here. I'll see you guys in the next playthrough, whatever that is.